Hi, I'm Chef Gail Sokol and welcome to my kitchen. Today it's all about muffins. We are going to be making a stuffed muffin, stuffed with beautiful strawberry jam, with an almond flavor and a beautiful frosting on top. Picture a frosted stuffed strawberry Pop-Tart in a muffin. Awesome, right? Absolutely awesome. And it only takes about 20 minutes to bake and about 5 minutes to put together. So before we get started, I want you to click that notification button because I want you to become a subscriber. I want you not to miss any of my tips or videos because they're really awesome. And I love having you with me in my kitchen. It's like having a friend with me while I bake. So muffins, this uses the muffin method of mixing, and that is the 2-bowl method. We have a bowl for dry ingredients. We have a bowl for wet ingredients. We put them together. We have muffin batter. Super, super simple and easy. So the first thing I've done is preheated my oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Most muffins bake at a higher temperature, but for a smaller amount of time. So I have sprayed two muffin tins that have 6 cups in each. You can use the 12 cup if you want. It will make 12 standard muffins. I just find the 2 6 ones are slightly larger and they puff up a little bit better because there's more room. They don't have to share the space with all the other little muffin cups or muffin tins. So spray it really, really well, even over the tops, and they'll come out a lot better. All right, dry ingredients first, and then we mix our wet ingredients and pour them into the dry ingredients, okay? So the first thing I have is 2 cups of all-purpose flour in a large bowl. I have 2/3 cup of granulated sugar, and our leavening agent, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I hate to tell you, that's it for the dry ingredients. We're going to whisk those together, and you really want to make sure that they're whisked together properly, homogeneously, so that all the baking powder, which is a chemical leavener, gets blended in so that we don't have any holes inside of our muffins, because that can cause implosions if you have a bunch of baking powder just waiting to explode inside, forming carbon dioxide. All right, we're going to put our whisk down, and then we're going to get our dry ingredients. Our wet ingredients. So our dry ingredients are there. Wet ingredients are 1 cup of milk, any type of milk you want, whole milk. You know, if it's fat-free, low fat, oat milk, whatever you want to use, 1 cup. 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. You can use coconut oil. You can use anything you want. So these are relatively healthy muffins. All right. I have 1 large egg that I've pre-cracked. Make sure you pre-crack it, or else you could end up with shell in the dry ingredients. And make sure you get through that yolk. And I have 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Yum. And 1 teaspoon of almond extract, which is going to add a nice lovely fragrance, a scent of almonds. We're also going to put some almonds on top. And that's it, dry and wet. Now we're going to put them together, but get rid of the whisk. Put the whisk down. Okay, I'm putting it away because if you don't put it away, you're going to overmix with the whisk. Rubber spatula is what you need. You're going to pour your wet into your dry, pour them all in there, and then you're going to fold everything together. I wouldn't really call it true folding like you would for a meringue. You just want to blend together and do not overmix. A lot of quick breads, like muffins are quick breads because they use baking powder or baking soda or both. They usually will say, do not overmix the batter, because if you overmix the batter, you'll end up with hockey pucks. And I've judged a few competition in my day that the students were making hockey pucks. Corn muffin hockey pucks, blueberry muffin hockey pucks. All right, so I just mixed just until blended. And now we're ready to fill our muffin cups. And I also have a half a cup of very high quality strawberry jam. All right, so I'm gonna go and get a big spoon, and we are going to fill each muffin cup half full. All right, so about half full with our batter. All right, about half full. Because we are going to put a teaspoon of our beautiful strawberry jam in each one. And there's going to be a little surprise for everyone that bites into this beautiful almond flavored muffin. So I'm going to keep going. And it is delicious. And we're going to frost it a little bit with a simple icing, and it actually reminds you of a Pop-Tart. You know, one of the fruit-filled Pop-Tarts, those were my favorites. Some people like blueberry. You could use even blueberry preserves if you want to really get into that. So I have about, half left or so. And then I'm going to get a separate little spatula and a teaspoon of very high quality jam. I'm going to put it right on inside, sort of stuff it in there. All right. I'll show you what this looks like. And you're going to need about a half a cup. You can use any jam you want. I like strawberry. You can use seedless. You can use apricot, anything you want. It actually just is delicious. It's actually delicious. And it actually is just like a little surprise inside. Now I'm going to continue on. And then we're going to top it with more batter on the top and bake it. And it only bakes for 20 minutes. That's all you're going to need. 20 minutes, 20. You can whip these babies up in no time and then let them cool a little bit. And then we're going to put this gorgeous, simple frosting and then scatter them with some almonds. And they are going to be luscious. All right, so I'm going to get rid of my container there. Go back to the batter. All right, go back to the batter. Just top it off, just top it. And you can just sort of spread the batter over the jam. So it's hidden inside like a little surprise, okay? Like a little surprise. If some peeks out, don't worry. It's going to get covered with some of that icing anyway. But these are just beautiful. How long did it take for us to do this? Not even 5-10 minutes. I was all, jabbering about, so that's what took the long time, is Chef Gail yakking away, right? So I'm almost done with these. And then you're just going to put them in the oven. You don't want the muffin tins to touch. And then you're going to bake them at 400 degrees. Make sure your oven is nice and preheated, because it really does need that hot oven in order to puff up, because we have all that beautiful baking powder inside. So I'm going to get down and dirty in my bowl and clean it so I can just get a little bit more in here for my last one. All right, I saw what I did. Don't worry. Chef Gail has a way to get around it. Don't worry. Watch. You just go boop. Just boop in there. And it's so slippery from the nonstick cooking spray, the batter goes right in. 20 minutes. See you back. So my strawberry jam almond muffins came out of the oven after 20 minutes, and they're beautiful. Look at them. And they're full of surprises, but you won't know until you bite it and get inside and all the jam comes out. It's so good. Some of them popped up a little bit, so you see a little bit of the jam, but that's okay, right? That's okay. It's not telling all its secrets. So now we're going to make a almond fragranced, beautiful thin glaze to go over. Not a thin glaze, but a simple glaze. We want it relatively thick. I'm going to drizzle it over, and then we are going to sprinkle it with, I have about a half a cup of toasted sliced almonds. I like it when the peel is on it. If you don't like it with the peel, just use blanched almonds, that's fine, but sliced. You don't want whole almonds. And you can also chop almonds too if you want. All right, so here I have 1 cup of confectioner's sugar. You can put it through a sieve if it's lumpy. I have half a teaspoon of almond extract to carry through our theme of the almond flavor. And then I'm going to do 1 to 2 tablespoons, maybe more. There's never an exact recipe for a simple confectioner's sugar icing. It's sort of the way you want it. Do you want it super thin, super thick? So 1 cup of confectionery sugar, I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon, and I'm going to let it get mixed a little bit. Bring it to the bottom so you just sort of whisk in. And what I am going to get is a butter knife so that as it does get thicker, I can push it out of the whisk. So you can see it's getting thick and it's not encompassing everything yet. We still have a lot of confectioner's sugar. So I am going to need a little bit more. So at this point, I'm going to put about half a tablespoon in, because I've had students and I've seen people, oh, another tablespoon, another 2 tablespoons, and then they go too far. And what they have is like water. And when they pour it over, it just falls off whatever they're pouring it on, whether it's a muffin, a donut, whatever it is. So you can see we're getting almost to what we want. We want something a little thinner than that, but we still have a lot more sugar. So this will take time. This is not something you want to rush, because you can go from thick to thin like that, like that. So be careful. All right, I just put in another, maybe half a tablespoon, a teaspoon, and we're almost getting there. You want to clean the bottom of the bowl with the whisk, and you're only putting a little bit of the icing on top. This is the same icing that you would have on a cinnamon roll, scone, cinnamon bread, things like that. So here we go. We're a little thick, but if I want to spread it, it's good. It's good. So I'm going to show you. Oh, I can smell the almond. I'm going to go grab my offset, and I'm going to maybe spread a little bit on, because I like the way it looks. Let's show you how we would spread it on. So we're going to take one of our muffins, and we're just going to spread it. Doesn't have to be over the whole thing. Just spread it in a pretty way. And put some of your almonds on there so that they stick. Pretty. I actually like that. So I'm not going to be drizzling, so I'm going to keep it thick. If you wanted it more drizzleable, new word. I hope Merriam-Webster Dictionary is paying attention. And then you're going to make it, if you want it a little thinner and more drizzly, that's a better word, right? Put it on there. I'm putting the almonds on immediately. This type of icing, if it stays uncovered for long, it will actually get firm. And that's what we're hoping for. We want to firm this up so that the almonds stay on and it almost gets like a hardened frosting. So you can see how pretty that looks. And again, it doesn't have to be all over every single bit of the muffin, although you could do that. You can always increase the amount of icing if you wanted to. And you may not even use all this half a cup, but I just have that because some of you may be, topping maniacs like I am, and you like a lot of icing and a lot of topping on there. I do. I know my family does. So if I don't put enough on, it's like, you're being skimpy. So I don't want to be skimpy. Oh. So let's put in a little bit more in each one. They look beautiful. If you saw that on a brunch table, you'd be like, okay, forget the eggs, forget the omelets, forget the hollandaise and all that. I'm going for this because they're just downright pretty. And they do remind me, when you bite into them, of those frosted Pop-Tarts. So I call them like frosted Pop-Tart muffins. Don't forget to put your almonds on before the icing firms up. And if you do want to make the icing a little bit ahead, make sure that you cover it with a wet paper towel, like a moistened paper towel, or you can put some plastic wrap over it, because otherwise it will get pretty firm. All right, so make sure you do that. Oh, I'm getting there. This is really good. So this is like, I think it's beautiful. You can have this for dessert. You can have this for a snack. Give this to the kids. First day of school's coming up. Hey, you know, you want them to feel comfortable and good. Give them one of these. And once the icing hardens, it's a pretty good, packable item to put in their lunch. So I'm going to continue frosting, and I'd like you to look on Instagram for the big reveal on the inside, but I hope you make these beautiful strawberry jam almond muffins, and I hope you become a subscriber. Till next time.